What's going on, everyone? It's Average THC Guy, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of how to hide that you smoke that Zaza. Now, I'm in a position right now where if I were to smoke, I would need to hide it either from my dad or from the cops, and but I won't smoke until my probation is up. So these are just some tips where if your parents don't know you smoke yet, let's say you get pulled over or what have you, these are some ways to, um, kind of cover that up. So let's just say, for our first example, you have the house all to yourself and you want to smoke a little herb. And so, how would you go about doing it? Well, if you have the house all to yourself, you have many different advantages. One, you don't gotta worry about anybody seeing you, and two, you got plenty of time to make things right. So, how would you go about this? Well, for one, if you can, smoke outside. It's obviously the better option because the smoke just dissipates into the air, harder to track, harder to trace. But let's say it's winter outside, it's cold as hell, and you might get frostbite. What would you do then? Well, what I would do is I would stay away from joints or blunts because those are constantly burning. So stay away from those because they'll let out into the air. But if you smoke near a window, you might be better off. So yeah, if you're gonna smoke a joint, smoke it next to the window, blow the smoke out, make sure the smoke's going out. But what I would do personally is I would smoke either a bowl or like a pipe or a bong. That's because you're sucking all the air in or all the smoke in. Nothing's getting out. Now, don't get it twisted. There will be residual smoke that comes off the bowl once you're done taking your pull. Now, to cover that up, what you're going to need to do is open a window or the window you're already smoking at. Put a fan in there, box fan, any kind of fan. And make sure you turn it on high. Make sure all the smoke is blowing out. And if you really want to go over the top, get yourself something called a smoke buddy. A smoke buddy is a little air filter. You may have, when you were little, or not little, but when you were first starting smoking, you may have used something called a sploof. Sploof is essentially a paper towel roll or toilet paper roll that has dryer sheets rubber banded at the end of it. So when you blow out the smoke, it all smells like dryer sheets. But let's say but let's say you have a little disposable income. I would get a smoke buddy because those really do fucking work. I don't have one, but I've seen them in action, and they really are impressive. And next up, you're gonna change clothes. Take your clothes off, put them into the washer, and clean them. Then you're gonna take a shower, put on some nice clean clothes that don't smell, and you're golden. But let's say you're just smoking at home while your parents are there. Well, I have put together a little kit for myself somewhere around here. It's this little carry around kit. It's got Ted on it. Sorry about that. Or sorry about keeping the microphone away from me. I'm still getting used to a handheld microphone because I usually record these in my closet as opposed to in my garage. But yeah, so in that kit is what you're gonna need to cover it up. So first, you got to take care of the smell. Anyone can smell that. So what I use as far as air fresheners, I don't actually use air fresheners. Most people will say, "Oh, just throw on some Axe and use some Febreze." Don't do either of those two things. Listen to me. I've been smoking for a long time, and I know what works and what doesn't. So instead of Febreze, you're gonna spray something called Osium. You can get this in any basic Walmart type store or any auto parts store. That's where I usually buy mine. And you're going to spray that, and then you're going to leave the room. It's crucial that you leave the room because inhaling that stuff apparently is bad for you. And then, what are you going to do about the smell on you? Well, you're going to grab a nice bottle of cologne. Get a mini bottle so you can take it wherever you go. spray some of that on, and then the smell is still going to linger on your hands, especially if you've been smoking a joint or a blunt. Uh, so get yourself some hand sanitizer, something strong. Mine is pretty strong, but it's also scented, so it dual covers it up. And also, for that smoker's breath, you're going to need some mints or some gum. So basically, if you have time at a traffic stop or something, if the cops pull you over and you've been indulging, then spray some cologne, spray some Ozium, put on some hand sanitizer, like a mint, and yeah, that. And also another crucial thing, those red eyes, man, those are a dead giveaway. So what are you gonna do? My personal brand of choice is something called Clear Eyes. Now you can get these at pretty much any store. I usually get mine at like a Dollar General, and they really do work after you put them on. Your eyes will be looking clear as day. And ooh, what else is there? As far as storage, I would get my personal choice of storage is an airtight jar. You can, if you're gonna put it in Ziploc bags, if you must, double, triple, quadruple bag that shit if you need to. And don't just hide it in your drawer or under your bed, because that'll be like the first place your parents or the police will look. Where I usually, where I would hide it is I can't, if you have like a drop ceiling, you can hide it in the ceiling. That'll be a pretty easy hiding space. But let's say you don't have that. Well, they have these things called stash cans. They just look like regular cans. They're not too expensive. You can put your butt in there, and it'll be pretty airtight. Also, if you have just a joint or a blunt to hide, learn this from Dope you can put it in a DVD or a video game case or a Blu-ray case, and just put it among all the other empty ones, and it'll be very hard to suspect. So you can also hide them behind paintings, or I have a couple canvas prints in my room that I usually would hide them behind. Um, you can, if you have a little bit like a dub or something, you can hide it inside a TV remote. Again, all this is in a video by Delviziola. These are just my preferred hiding places. Um, you can hide them in the seams of your couch. If your couch has a removable seam, you can hide in there. And yeah, all those are good, and they're places many people probably won't look. So as for where to keep, you can keep them in like a pill. You can keep it in like a pill bottle or a plastic bag, if you really need to. But what I would do is invest in an airtight jar. They're not too much money, and get one that's like, colored, where much light won't get in, because, direct light does kind of harm your bud. But if you keep it in like a drawer or, uh, you know, a cabinet or something, or in a box, it probably won't be exposed to much light, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. And is there anything else? Um, and if you're in public and you're trying to hide that you're high, couple key tips: don't ramble. Rambling about nonsense will make you look suspicious. I always cut back to that scene in The Sopranos where Christopher is high at Tony's mom's funeral, and he's just going on and on about nonsense. So yeah, don't ramble. Don't talk too little, also, because that'll also make you look suspicious. And if somebody asks, "Hey, you don't look so good. What's wrong?" Just say, "Oh, I'm tired," or "Oh, I'm not feeling that well." Those two are pretty surefire, and if you're lucky, they'll just give you an excuse to just go up to your room and vibe. You can just watch some YouTube, maybe play some video games, maybe eat some good food, and just ride out the high. So that's my personal tips on how to hide that you smoke. Leave your tips in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next